My name is Dave Krugman. I go by dave.krugman on Instagram, and I'm a photographer, and I also work in advertising. I went to Boston University and studied psychology, but I found that, the more I learned about psychology, the more I understood about photography, because it's kind of a study of people and the human mind, and I think that photography is really all about that. And the second I graduated, I knew I was going to move to New York and do everything I could to become a photographer. When I first moved to New York, I was fortunate enough to get a job at Annie Leibowitz's studio. Learning there and learning the process and scanning so much film and seeing these shoots was such an incredible, eye-opening experience for me. So when I started on Instagram, to me it was really just a hobby and kind of a visual journal and a way to document what I was seeing every day. And then I started noticing that a lot of really, really compelling photography was being shared on that platform. Then I started to see that brands were also getting interested in the platform and interested in it as more of a communications tool and not just a photography app. So to me, that was kind of an aha moment. Like, what can we do with this platform in an era where we all are able to become photographers? Because, even if you don't buy a camera, chances are you have a camera in your pocket, just by the nature of having a smartphone. So I started to think about, how can we use this platform and how can we use this new era of photography to communicate with each other on a level that we've never been able to do before. Photography, in a way, has been democratized, and I think that all in all, it's actually way better for the photography industry that everybody is a participant. If there's more competition, it forces the evolution of the craft. The best thing about photography and this whole new world of social media is meeting new people and going to new interesting places and forming these new relationships, and it's made me grow as an artist and a person more than anything I've come across in my entire life. My absolute favorite subject is probably street photography. Street photography to me has always been this incredible practice. Where you are with your camera, what the light is like, who's walking by. Even in the same spot with the same camera, you're never going to get the same shot twice. And that to me is why I love street photography so much. You can never predict what's going to happen, and you kind of just have to catch these really lucky moments and just kind of go with the flow and maybe chase the light down an alley or a street or something like that. But when you're doing more commercial work or more portraiture, it's really nice to plan and conceptualize and plan a little bit ahead so you can really dial in that shot. So I shoot with all sorts of equipment and different cameras and stuff like that. And when people ask me, they say, what should I get? What camera should I buy? My number one answer, just get an iPhone. Get the best cell phone camera you can get. It's easy, everything's there for you. It's automatic, and you can really learn the rules of composition, and you can really hone your craft and become a good photographer. When you're ready to move up, I think what's important is to realize that it's not about the camera necessarily. It's really about the person using it. One thing that has been really special to me is that my grandfather collected a lot of cameras, and he kept it in really, really pristine condition. Eventually, he passed it down to my father, who also used it and was a hobbyist photographer, and taught me a lot of what I know about this craft. And then eventually that stuff landed in my hands. And right now I'm really, really into the Sony A7 system because it's a full frame camera, but it's mirrorless. And the advantage of that is that I get to use, with adapters, I get to use all this incredible glass that goes back in my family generations. Not only does it mean so much, to be shooting through the same glass that my father and grandfather shot, but this old glass is of a quality that I just don't see matched in the modern world. So these old Leica lenses, I just don't think that they can really be replicated in a way, and it's like merging the best of the old world with the new world. Vintage glass it's like listening to vinyl or something. It's just, the quality of it is incredible. So one thing that I always do is I always book a window seat flying out of LaGuardia on the left side of the plane. So one time I was on a really bad streak of booking window seats and not getting any view. I'd fly in at night and there'd be cloud cover. And then this one time, as we were flying into the city, there was this really low cloud cover and the buildings were kind of poking through. And I frantically got my camera out of my bag and pressed it to the glass and just fired away as much as I could. And I think that image just is the epitome of that patience and that circumstance and the confluence of all of the different factors that make a good photograph. I was always told that art wasn't a realistic option. So I would say to kids, getting started in this stuff, that it absolutely is, and it's actually more realistic than ever before, because we are in an era of unprecedented visual literacy. The ability to consume and then create has been accelerated to a point where we can do more than ever before. So if you're, if you're thinking about what you want to do when you grow up and art and visual art is something that interests you, I would say absolutely pursue that to its fullest. There is a world for you to be a part of.